Red Bull's second-seat saga has taken another dramatic turn. After yet another disappointing performance from Liam Lawson, the Kiwi driver is now under serious threat of being replaced by Yuki Tsunoda, possibly as soon as the upcoming Japanese Grand Prix. The Austrian team has publicly confirmed discussions about a potential driver switch, and if this happens, it could mark one of the shortest tenures for a Red Bull driver in history. So, can Tsunoda finally secure his spot in the Red Bull lineup? And if he does, how can he prove he deserves to stay there long-term? Liam Lawson's Red Bull future in jeopardy. Liam Lawson's future in Red Bull is now the hottest topic in the F1 paddock, but it may not remain a topic for long. The team is reportedly holding an urgent meeting in Milton Keynes to discuss Lawson's struggles, Max Verstappen's concerns about the car, and how they can close the performance gap to Ferrari and McLaren. Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko confirmed the situation, stating, "This week, we are meeting in Milton Keynes to discuss when and how we can close the gap. Until then, it's about scoring as many points as possible. We are worried, but we're not throwing in the towel." No one expected Lawson to challenge Verstappen for the #1 role at Red Bull. However, the expectation was for him to be at least within a reasonable margin of the four-time world champion. Instead, Lawson is struggling even more than Sergio Perez did last season. Unfortunately for him, time is not on his side. Helmut Marko's warning, and the Tsunoda factor. Lawson himself admitted that time is his biggest enemy in adapting to the RB21, and Marko didn't disagree. Red Bull could very well decide that they've seen enough after just 2 race weekends, one of which included a sprint event where Tsunoda managed to secure crucial points for Racing Bulls. Had it not been for a disastrous strategy call from his team, Tsunoda would likely be sitting inside the top 10 in the standings. Sky F1's Tent Kravitz asked Christian Horner a blunt question. "You needed Lawson to score Constructors' Championship points. You didn't pay off Checo Perez for this, did you? I mean, the point was to replace Checo with a quicker driver, and he is just not a quicker driver." Horner's response? "We'll have a good look at it and do what we can tomorrow." In Formula One, you can't hide from performance. Red Bull may have picked Lawson based on potential, but that's why Racing Bulls exists, to develop drivers. Meanwhile, Tsunoda, once seen as an unpredictable and emotional racer, has evolved into a consistent performer. Marko himself admitted, Yuki changed his management and has been performing absolutely top-notch so far. He is in the form of his life and has made another quantum leap this year. The RB21 struggles and Verstappen's concerns. One thing that doesn't help Lawson's case is the RB21's unpredictable nature. Even Verstappen has openly admitted the car is difficult to handle. After finishing behind both McLaren's and Mercedes in China, Verstappen said, "I think Liam Lawson would go faster in the Racing Bulls car. Our car is extremely difficult to drive. If you look at the difference between the 2 drivers on the other teams, they are all closer together." When your teammate, the reigning world champion, is suggesting you'd perform better in a slower car, it's not a great sign. And let's not forget, despite all the talk about Lawson's potential, his best finish in Formula One remains P9 in Singapore back in 2023. That's hardly enough to justify a Red Bull seat. Tsunoda's confidence and the PR slip-up. So, what does Tsunoda think about all this? When asked whether he'd be ready to step into the Red Bull seat even as soon as the next race in Japan, his response was sharp and confident. "Japan? Yeah, 100%. The car is faster." Interestingly, as soon as Tsunoda gave this answer, Racing Bull's PR representative quickly pulled him away from the microphone, signaling that this is a highly sensitive topic Red Bull doesn't want him discussing publicly. This further fuels speculation that the team is indeed considering a swap. Is Red Bull ready to pull the trigger? While a driver switch is becoming more likely, it's not a guarantee that Tsunoda will last in the Red Bull seat either. If he can't control the car and adapt quickly, Red Bull might find themselves making another switch before the season ends. Tsunoda himself knows that nothing is certain, stating, "I still want that Red Bull seat at some point, but the decision isn't up to me. It's up to them. I just need to keep doing what I'm doing, and my mindset won't change." However, he has also hinted that Red Bull's decision to choose Lawson over him may have been politically motivated rather than based on performance. If that's true, then Red Bull will be under even more pressure to prove otherwise. Will Red Bull swap drivers before Japan? Red Bull is in an unusual position. They have a driver in Lawson who is clearly struggling and another in Tsunoda who is outperforming expectations. The team is fighting for the Constructors' Championship, and right now, they are essentially running a one-car operation with Verstappen carrying the load alone. So, will Tsunoda replace Lawson before the Japanese Grand Prix? It's looking increasingly likely. However, even if it happens, Tsunoda will have to prove himself quickly. Just because Red Bull is considering promoting him doesn't mean they see him as a long-term solution. What do you think? Should Red Bull make the swap now, or should Lawson be given more time to prove himself? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to know more about Red Bull's internal struggles, make sure to check out the video that's appearing on your screen right now.